Doug Lattuca back with you inside the Axtrix Lounge alongside general manager and bench coach Matt Voity before the boys hit the road for a Friday game in Watertown. Then they're back here in Danbury on Saturday against the Port Huron Prowlers, and then they head right back up to Watertown on Sunday. Matt, how you doing? Good. Overall thoughts last weekend, second trip to Port Huron. The first time you guys won both, this time you split.
I thought we played really well Friday night. I thought Saturday night things got a little crazy. I think we were a little bit looser than we should have been. I think we were kind of a little too excited, based on how we were playing, and which happens, especially with some of the younger guys. But I think we battled hard, we fought hard. I think, after those penalties, with Popoff and Froloff and them getting thrown out, we kind of had a rough patch there, but we didn't let it, get worse. And we were in it in the third period. We just couldn't get a puck to go for us.
We could dissect both games, starting with Friday night. More of a dominant performance, specifically in the third period. The Russian trio of Frolov, Bandurkin, and Vasiliev went to work, as they have really over this stretch and during that winning streak that you guys were on. What did you like about the play on Friday, and specifically in that third period, how it translated to 5 unanswered goals?
I think we'd been playing pretty well. It's really kind of just looking for a little more, and that's what I said to the boys around the first intermission. Like, we're going good, but we just need a little more urgency, a little more attention to detail. We were a little bit too comfortable, and they score the first one, and that line goes out there and scores 10 seconds later, and we're going. And I think we had the fire lit, and then we literally just kept going with it. So I think we were playing pretty crisp, and then I think that just kind of led into Saturday night.
And in terms of the Russians, specifically Frolov and Bandurkin, Frolov grabbing his first professional hat trick. Bandurkin had scooped up the team's first hat trick a couple weeks back. What have both of those players brought? I know they're young, they're very skilled. What do they bring to the lineup on a nightly basis?
I think they both bring a combination of toughness and skill, which, sometimes can be hard to find. Some players have one or the other. They have both. I think, they're pretty intelligent. I think they've had to work through some things being young players and being rookies in the league and learning how to play in this league. But to their credit, they've learned and they're getting better.
On Saturday night, as we transition, the loss, the first one in quite some time for this group. It had been a long point streak for the team, stacking up wins, and it's benefited you guys in the Empire Division standings, which we will get to. Did you feel that Port Huron had adjusted their strategy a little bit from Friday to Saturday, maybe trying to negate that Russian line, which put up a huge number of points on Friday?
Well, yeah, I think they're coming out, they got, that's not, you don't want to lose 7-2 in your own barn. And, they came out, kind of fired and ready to go. And I thought we handled it pretty well, to be honest. I thought, really on our end, like, we needed to be a little bit more disciplined. I thought we were just a little bit too excited. And, we ended up after the first period up 1-0. And I think they were trying to be a little more physical on that line, but I think we handled it pretty well.
Do you think the offense was stymied a little bit based on something that they had changed? Did you feel like it was a little bit of a choppier game, slower, wasn't as much offensive flow on Saturday night as opposed to Friday, where you guys figured something out in that third period?
Yeah, I think, with the physical part of it, I think they were a little more physical at the lines. I just look at us, and I think we didn't manage the puck as well. I think we were trying to be too cute, trying to be a little bit too skillful, and then we lose 2 guys, and we're kind of, I think there's a point where I had maybe 6 forwards or something like that, and it's, that can be tough when you get a bunch of guys playing together that haven't really played together. They came out a little harder than they had been, but again, I think we handled it pretty well, and I think it was a little bit more on us not simplifying our game based on that.
Yeah, and you had 2 players in Connor Woolley and Chris Hunt who hadn't really played much hockey over the last couple of weeks. They were kind of tossed into elevated roles because of the match penalties to Vadim and Popoff in that game. How, as a bench coach, You didn't have Johnny Ruiz with you either. He was back home still dealing with that upper body injury. How do you shuffle the lines when you know, okay, we don't have many combinations here. We're missing a guy who scored a hat trick the previous night and a big-bodied physical defenseman?
Sometimes it's not really left in your hands, and that's like, hey, what can you do? I think you look down at your bench, and at this point in the season, I know the players, and you're just trying to put together the best guys. Sometimes it is a guess. You don't know, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, and again, the benefit though of having not so many players is there's only so many combinations, so you kind of figure it out pretty fast.
The long wing streak has propelled you guys up the standings. You sit in second place entering the weekend. And hey, you face number 3 and number 4 in the Empire Division this weekend. You play Watertown twice and Port Huron again once. How important are these games? Just grabbing 1, 2, 3 points against teams that you need to beat and would like to secure that second spot?
Well, it's going to dictate the next, whatever we have, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. These are games that, I think I know they all understand that we have to win. Certainly at the very least have to point in, but one game at a time, we have to win them, and we're very capable against both teams. I think you look at the season series with both teams, and it's been a little back and forth. I think we've gotten better. I think I fully expect us to battle through. Obviously, with a 3-3, it can be tough, especially on the back end. But I think, having gone through with Hudson Valley, I think that kind of helps us. It's not like a distant memory. It was pretty recent, and we can draw on that experience to help us.
And then you get Port Huron here at home on Saturday. Do you think it benefits or hurts playing this team again? You just saw them twice. You're going to see them again next weekend for a couple of games. It seems like they're on the schedule a lot coming up.
I think it helps, especially a team like that that's close to you in the standings at this point in the season. Like, it gets you up. Like I said earlier, it's the dog days of the season, and when you're facing a team like that, that's okay, this is the playoffs, so this is second place. This is our seeding in the playoffs. It gets the boys up, and I think it's a benefit.
The travel a little wonky this weekend. You guys are heading to Watertown in a couple of moments. Then you're back on Saturday for a game in Danbury, and then right back to the same spot in Watertown. How do you adjust? What does the team feel about situations? I know the ride isn't as long as a Michigan, which we were just in last weekend, but it's still about a 5-6 hour ride up there.
I think it's just managing, making sure you're eating right, making sure you're sleeping, hydrating. It's all the kind of cliche things. I think we got to just make sure we have the right guys in the lineup, and that they're fresh. I mean, it's not too bad. We come back right after Friday's game, and then, the boys get to sleep in their bed a little bit, and then we play here at 7. So, I think a little bit more of the concern is the 4 o'clock game on Sunday after Saturday's game. But, a lot of these guys have been through it already. We had a home and home with Watertown. So the front end of it, I'm not concerned about. I think any 3-3 are always a little concerned on the back end in guys' energy levels and how they're resting. But I think we should be okay. I think these guys have a pretty good, they've had enough test runs with it to know what to do.
Expected to get some of the big dogs back, Johnny Ruiz, Chase Harwell, specifically down the middle, strengthening that group. How crucial is it to get them back up to speed, slot them in, and get the lines rolling as we enter that push for the playoffs?
Well, I mean, it's bigger. Top 3 centers have been out for the last couple of weeks.
Billy Berry too, yeah.
It's just like anything else in hockey, you can't predict that. The sooner we get them all back and kind of flowing here, I mean, we should get Billy back about a month before the end of the season ends. That's going to help us immensely. It stabilizes our lines, it stabilizes our lineup, and allows us to get a little bit of a flow going, into playoffs.
4 Nations finals tonight, USA against Canada. We were all together last weekend when they played round 1. And that was a physical game, the 3 fights in the opening 9 seconds. We've got both Canadians and a lot of USA players on our team. Who are you rooting for? And who do you think wins? Because those could be two separate answers.
Well, I got to go USA. I'm American boy. Man, that's a tough one. I don't. It's not a game I'd want to bet on, for sure. I think I'm gonna say USA. I think they've got a little bit of an edge. But man, who knows? I mean, that could be 3 overtimes.
Yeah, who knows? Should be a great game. And we have 3 great games this weekend. Friday and Sunday are in Watertown. You can catch the game on Wolves TV with the voice of the Watertown Wolves, Jeff Barrett, bringing you that coverage. All the links to that broadcast will be on our website and our social medias, danburyhattricks.com. And then we're back here on Saturday. We've got a jersey auction. We've got more promotions. A free trip to Biloxi is on the line. A lot of great stuff. You can check it out at our website, danburyhattricks.com. Safe trip to Watertown, Matt.
Thanks, Doug.